Yo, you tuning into the Notion Podcast. This your boy Dizzy D Spill with my co-host in the building.
Jelani Evans.
It's it's Farmer Poe.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll bleep that out. We'll go ahead and we'll bleep that out, you know what I'm saying? So, since we're here now, fuck the 7 minutes, right?
What type of energy he's bringing.
All right.
Yo, listen, hey, man, check this out.
Okay. Yo.
The scruffy beanie got him going rough out here. Sheesh.
Calm down, Mouse. Calm down, Mouse. Well, I would. I guess we
get that tight shirt energy.
I guess we could get into it, man. How are y'all feeling today, fellas?
I'm alright. I'm just chilling, man.
You sure?
I'm fine.
Gosh,
you feel me?
You would think he got some plants that ain't grow right or something.
Yeah, tell us who did it.
Man, they was out of soil. Like, whoa, brother.
Nah, man, we good, man.
That last squirrel just was like, that's it. I'm tired of y'all.
Oh, man. I'm maintaining, man.
Everything.
You know, yeah, everything is everything. Sometimes you wish it was something else, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
I like that. That's a good way to put it.
Everything is everything. You wish it was something else, but it is what it is.
What can you do?
I like that.
Bars. I'll throw that in something.
Yeah, I was about to say my EP drops next week. It's called, huh?
What's good with you though, man?
Man, trying to make some things happen. Y'all seen the video, obviously. So there's some more music to come.
Finally gonna drop some EPs, huh?
Yeah, man. It was some stuff that I wanted to get out there first. I don't want to say test the waters, but I guess just kind of get people more familiar or get people interested who probably don't know that that's what my background is in, because it's been a little minute. You know, the good old pandemic kind of slowed up a lot of plans that I had. So I wanted to make sure things were really going to be calmed down before I start releasing stuff. You know, it could have been another shutdown or another,
Man, so. The pandemic, I had to do a 180 and then start moving adjacently. Like, it was
right.
Crazy. Like, and it's man, what are we, 3 years removed? I say like basically like 2 if we count how I play. We're about 2 years removed from that, and it's still having that ripple effect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are still dealing with the aftermath of certain things. Crazy enough, the cases are still high too.
Oh yeah, but it's not what did they just announce that it's not going to be a big deal now, even though
Yeah, I knew that shit was shit changed when I called Jaheim school and told him that he was sick, and they was like, "All right, I hope he gets better." I was like, "Oh shit."
Whoa.
Yeah, because listen, for the last 2.5 years, my son, he got like a little sniffle. All right, we're going to need 3 positive COVID tests.
You mean negative?
Within 24 hours.
Yeah.
I mean negative.
Negative.
Negative
We're trying to
COVID
infect
test.
everybody in close to school.
Within 24 hours.
Right.
You had to have a COVID test on deck.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
So, they
even at the job, they wasn't playing that. They was like, I'm not really feeling good. All right, did you get you got it? All right, well, go ahead and come on.
You got a negative? No.
I had a homie that had plans. He was like, yeah, man, around July, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be feeling all that hot, you know what I'm saying? And he made the call. They was like, oh, okay, well, you can come on in. And he was like,
Yeah, nigga, waited too long.
Yeah. They said, you can come on through. I said,
he thought he had it on reserve.
Because he let me know. I was like, yo, so what you doing here? And he was like, man, they talking something different, man. I was like, bro, he had a lineup and everything. He was ready to go. He didn't
do it right.
Man, I'm sick. They're like sick.
He didn't do it right.
Don't nobody get sick no more. You know.
He didn't do it right.
He said, we'll see you this afternoon.
Well, take your ass down to CVS and get you some tussin.
I'm not feeling too well. You're going to be feeling worse if you don't come clock in for your shit.
If you come in here and clock in, you sweat it out.
Yeah, man. He shut everything down. Took the rental back and
he took the rental back.
Nah, he had a plan.
He had a trip and all that shit.
He had a plan.
Nah, you lying.
Yeah, he had a plan. He went from I'm finna be off for a few weeks to I'm gonna come in this weekend and throw a little bit out.
You gotta make up for them
My
funds
nigga
now. He
made a
trying to put in
vacation
OT.
plan off of COVID
Yeah.
and forgot that
Yeah.
nigga. It's been
Tell
3
Big Mama and them I'm not coming.
Nah.
I'm not coming.
Nah.
I'm telling you, he didn't do it right. If you do it right, yeah, you gotta not be feeling good a couple of days when you on the clock.
Yeah.
You gotta
yeah.
act.
You know what I mean? And then you gotta be like,
Damn, that shit crazy.
Yeah.
then you gotta,
You gotta act like you
call
trying
him
to
like,
stay.
yeah, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, man, I'm not feeling.
But
too
look,
hot.
while you at work, you gotta be like not feeling good, and you know somebody like you okay? Yeah, nah, but I'm gonna push through it.
I'm gonna push through. Yeah, you gotta hit him with that story.
Shift, man. You know,
push through?
Yeah.
and then
Ain't no pushing through now.
yeah, nah.
Smack one on the back of the neck. Man up. Go over there and get that box, bum.
I know. At some jobs, my job is cush right now because right now they. So during the summer, we had either you could do the alternate schedule, you can do 410s, or you can do.
Oh, I love 410s. That's dope.
I was about to do that, or you can do the remote Fridays. So I was gonna do 410s and do Fridays off. Some people wanted to do the remote Fridays, and do 9.
I would do remote Monday through Thursday and then do a 410 on Friday.
No, you don't have the option to do it.
I'm telling you what I would tell them to do.
But now this is what it is. So they hit us with the email. All right, now it's everybody can be off on Friday not off on Friday, but do remote Fridays. So if you were gonna,
So you got 4. So you could you do 410s and still work Friday, remote?
yeah,
Okay.
and you
I
can
like
do,
that.
and if you were gonna do remote, if you were gonna do like 9, I think 5, 9, whatever the difference was, you could do 2 days remote, 3 days on campus.
Yeah, off mic we gonna
I mean,
I'm gonna let them know that.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
My options are open.
it's been lasting like a lot of people took hella advantage of that of it too. You know what I mean? When they was at home, they wasn't doing shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to take my talents to South Sac, so we gonna,
Shit.
you know, I like that get down.
They've been like, wait, what is he doing? Because I've been like, huh? Yeah, so what we're doing, I've had a laptop. I'm like, yeah, hold on. Is that another Mai Tai? So,
Look,
is
some
that
people
Hula
wasn't
music back
logging in
there?
today.
Don't worry about that. So the numbers for this quarter are looking, they're like, yo, he wilding.
Yo, he on one.
I ain't gonna lie.
Hawaii shirt with the buttons down open. You feel me? Like I'm living my best life.
Yeah, he feeling it.
Early 2020, I started doing like the Instacart, and I pull up to the house of a customer. It's somebody that work with. Wait, I'm on hours on work on clock time.
Deliver.
Delivering somebody. They lie. But nah, she didn't work at that. She just started working somewhere else.
Okay.
Like. At
So
a
what was your
different location.
story?
You get that email I sent you while you
Ain't
running
no
carts?
story.
You wasn't interrogated or nothing?
Nah. Because she was working at a new location. Plus, I didn't work with her directly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would have told.
Yeah, I'm snitching.
I'm trying to move up in the company.
I'm gonna hit HR with a photo. Is that here? Is this Harold?
Hey, not a photo together though. Fastest delivery I've ever had.
Nah, that's cool. I'm gonna just blame it on AI. That's AI, man.
Oh yeah, we can blame the AI now. Yeah, that ain't
wasn't
me.
me. That was
wasn't
AI.
me.
Allen Iverson was nowhere around that. He's lying. See, he can't even.
Well, they wanted to answer.
Oh, you out of pocket. Out of pocket. Yo, before we dive into it, man, any news y'all would have covered that's just crazy out of this world that just threw you off this week?
Nah, I've been a hermit. I don't know what's going on.
This week,
Oops.
This week.
man, there's so much shit that you come across on the internet that you forget what week you found out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I
This
can see
is
that.
true. This is why they say cleanse. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he ain't got nothing. You know, my career was
I'm gonna have to start writing this shit down, man.
You know what's gonna happen when we get off here? You're gonna be like, bro, I should have, whatever. But no, that's all right, because you know the conversation I want to have, I think we should have, I think our listeners should be able to listen to is this, modern Black culture. And it ain't just like one specific thing that we can harp on. It's like different I would say, different pillars, different bullet points. And one of the hot conversations has been, and it's kind of crazy that certain people have been having the interviews, and it happened around the same time, but a controversial conversation was the Ebony K conversation with, I don't know how to say this woman's name because everybody say it different.
Ayanla?
Yeah.
Ayanla?
Yeah, Ayanla, about if she would date a bus driver. And then the weird thing is that I was inspired to watch the conversation, but when I seen this clip, it made me not want to watch the whole interview. It was Steve Harvey's interview with Shannon Sharp. And they took a clip from that, which the whole interview wasn't about that conversation, but Steve Harvey has some strong opinions about modern men having requests or standards for women bringing something to the table.
Steve Harvey is simp. Now go on.
Yeah,
man,
he been giving away all these damn books and shit.
See what I'm? Okay.
Well, all right, so look. All right, because like some of his viewpoints,
Steve, you wrong. You out of pocket.
As far as old school, some of his viewpoints I can agree with.
Yeah,
but this was one of them where I was just like, bro, shut up, you a simp, bro. Like
out of pocket.
That's not. You can't speak on that. Like, hey, do you know the history of this man and his wife?
You know damn well.
I know. I'm very familiar with his history.
Like, cause the wife he has was with somebody else,
right?
And when he approached her, she said, "You don't have enough money for me." Right? And so then once he got his money up, then he came back to her like, "Hey, look at me."
Oh, so he hating.
Yeah.
Come on, Steve. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
The whole thing about it is like he's made this comment. He's like, man, she can come to the table and make another you. And I was thinking, well, what if I don't want another me? What if I don't want kids? Now what? She just sitting at the table?
Right.
I mean, in order for her to make another me, I would have to participate in that, right?
100%.
So you're not, So basically, we not making another me either. It's just all you.
Bruh, I'm making the.
Because the court system say different when it comes to child support and everything else. You didn't make that by yourself according to child support, homie. You know what I'm saying?
But
so
it just, I don't know. That was kind of wild to me.
I had an analogy that was crazy.
I mean, like, you know.
What you got?
Nah, I'm a rest. I'm a rest. We might lose the couple of subscribers
to take care of the woman and child. And I'm not saying it's not, but it's also, if y'all are married and those are your seeds, right?
Yeah.
Just because you decide to, pull up on somebody else's woman and was able to get her and decide to take care of her kids, don't mean that every man should do that.
Exactly.
Not saying that it's not wrong to step in and be willing to commit to a woman and raise her kids as your own if that's how you're moving.
Right.
If you're willing to do that.
Right.
But for that just to be like the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that sounds
Shut the hell up.
I just think that what my problem is with somebody like him is speaking on is he saying that's the problem with these young men, these young boys today. And it's like, but you're not taking the time to figure out why in the hell they're saying that in the first place.
He hasn't acknowledged these young women or these ladies out here and how they're operating or acting or coming across or the demands that they have or the lack of them being able to take care of a man while they want a man to take care of them. Like the thing about it is like, okay, it's a man's place to take care of a woman and the kids, 100%, but it's a woman's place to take care of a man. And if you're not able to, you feel me, cater to that man, right? If you're not able to cook for that man, right? If he's taking care of everything, he's working all day and you're not, then he should be able to come home to a clean house and a meal, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying you have to. That's what you live in the kitchen, you wash the clothes, you have on an apron, and I'm not saying that. But if he's handling all of this outside of the house, then you should be able to handle the house and make the house a home, right?
Yeah.
And I should be able to have them Capri Suns that's in there.
No, those are for the kids.
Nah,
those are for the kids. You know what?
Let me
calm down. That's. But I'm just saying though, right?
For real.
And so it's just kind of crazy because most of these women can't cook. Don't know how to do laundry correctly. Don't fold clothes.
And your son bad as hell.
And then on top of this, bro, they're a headache. They're not your peace, right?
Oh no, peace.
They give you a piece of their mind.
Yo,
I
gotta address.
You keep leaving the house, asking me to watch him for a few minutes, and then he keep asking to play the game with me.
You got your own problem.
It's not your game.
He don't know.
It's not your game, homie. I work for this. I will say I want to add something to the cooking and cleaning concept because I keep hearing a lot of modern women today saying cooking and cleaning it's slavery, submissive, and all that stuff. You need to learn how to do that for yourself first.
You should be doing that for yourself.
If you are not cooking and cleaning by yourself, that is an adult standard.
Microwave.
Let me say this one thing. The only women who's saying anything about an issue with cooking and cleaning
don't know how
to do it. Because if you know how to do something, you're gonna do it.
It's a part of your daily.
You're gonna do it.
Your weekly routine. You have to nourish your body.
You're gonna do it.
You have to clean your home and your life.
Bathroom's always dirty.
Nobody's saying that you do that and you do it alone, right? Like if I happen to be at the house,
you need to come into the situation doing it. Because he made a point. He just said, "Why your bathroom dirty?" Some of y'all women got like 300,000 likes and fans and followers, and will post a picture with your mirror is dirty, your floor got the stuff. We don't even see your floor. We see the stuff on your floor. And then you want to be like, but I gotta, what are you bringing to the table if I'm cooking and cleaning? I'm
gonna have to bring a table because you don't have one from the picture you
Baking
posted.
soda and apple cider vinegar.
I don't want to get off the phone and have to fight the roaches.
Baking soda and apple cider vinegar. That's what y'all need.
That's what you need
to clear them damn drains, because all that hair that catch up in
all of it. You
need some apple cider.
Yeah, so we gotta be a plumber too. But my thing is it's like, I wanted to address that, bro, because there's a lot of pushback on, well, we have to do this, we have to do that, and it's like, no, you should be, as an adult, you should be cooking. You should be cleaning for yourself. You should know how to cook. You should know how to clean. You should know how to do your own laundry, fold your own clothes, do all of that stuff. I have done that stuff since I was a kid.
100%.
And I came from a 2-parent household.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
And then that's another thing. Not saying that you do it all by yourself alone.
Right.
It's just like, all right, so I go out, I work, I hold it down, I bring home the bacon, and then I have to do the laundry because you didn't feel like it. I got to cook as well. Like, I'm exerting all this energy. What are you doing?
Right.
Like, we're not a team,
right?
Because a woman is supposed to be a helpmeet to a man, right?
Right.
And now they sitting up here talking, all right, because there was a video about submission, being submissive, and them saying it was slavery. That's because, first of all, neither side really has a clear understanding these days. Right.
Of what submission is.
100%. Because if you say submissive to a woman, she thinks she's supposed to just do whatever you say. But on the same breath, there are a lot of males out here who, when they say submissive, that's what they mean. Do what I say, work, move how I move, wear what I tell you. Like,
it's
not
about
all.
Trust.
Not all 100%, because the thing about it is, and being submissive, like a woman should be submissive to a man as far as if you're dealing with him, then you give him the trust and the ability to lead you and guide you and direct you in him. Like, you allow him to make those type of decisions and those moves, believing that he has the best interest in mind for both of y'all.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you can't question anything or make sure he's moving or operating a certain way.
Exactly.
But in being submissive, you allow him to be the man. You allow him to be the head. You allow him to make those moves, and you trust that he's operating the right way, and he's going to give you right guidance, advice, care, and protection you need for you to be able to grow as a woman and for you guys to be able to grow as a couple.
Say that.
So when you talk about being submissive, you have to have the right understanding. Like, the thing about it is, what you say submissive and you say slavery. Those are two different words. They have two different definitions.
Two different meanings. That's why they're two different. Yeah.
A lot of women though nowadays, like in our generation, they grew up in households without fathers. So not only were they not able to see a man in a household and how in the way in which a man operates in a household, but they wasn't able to see their mother interact with that man.
That's why they always reference their grandparents. Exactly. And they say like, oh, my grandma was like slavery and this, that, and the other, because they're only going off of what they think grandma and grandpa's relationship was instead of knowing what mom and dad's relationship was, because daddy wasn't there in the house.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a big issue. And then the thing is too, bro, is that they're not even considering how men have submission in a relationship. When we're going out there and we're working hard and we got to protect, provide, well, that sounds a lot like submission too, right? Secret Service for the president, they're submitting, you know what I'm saying, their lives to protecting the president, right?
Right.
So we already have to come in with submission. When we pay for dates, you guys have 100 million holidays a year. You guys got birthdays. You guys got Mother's Day. There's Valentine's, Women's Month, all of these different things. And when we come through and we give you flowers, or the whole, can I just have flowers because it's Thursday? That's all a form of submission, right? Is it not? Or
that's crazy. You want flowers because it's Thursday.
The movies.
Wait for Friday.
Yeah.
Flowers.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I'm guilty of doing that. I'm guilty of doing that in relationships, and even with my own wife. I'm like, I'm gonna just randomly send her some flowers for the job. You know what I mean? Type of situation. Accord. Yeah, on my accord.
But not that's the schedule. Like, all right, on Thursday, I got.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, all right, if you start off giving flowers every Thursday. Mm-hmm. Then you kind of create that.
There's an expectation.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's not like, hey, part of what I expect, like on my past relationships, they was on Thursdays. They was
like, don't do that. Don't do that because I'm like,
you can have Fridays if you want. We can
the people you're not with no more.
Yeah, so this is what you want.
With them, huh?
This is what you want.
So I'm not gonna operate like they did because then I might be where they at.
I'm gonna send you to the past.
I say no.
Right. Right. For real. For real.
They got them.
I think that that's the problem with Steve Harvey's direction when he's talking to men as far as in why I think certain things are being said, because there's a whole lot of people putting batteries, in a lot of women's backs about how they think a man should be, all the way down to the type of work you do. You know what I mean? Protecting and providing, those words don't have a dollar amount next to it. It just has a responsibility next to it. Anything extra outside of that is more of an accommodation for your preference or the way or what you think it should be. Because even if you take a man that makes six figures, right, he's never home, which means it's kind of hard for him to protect if he's never home and you're alone with the kids.
I'll take it a step further. If he's always working and he's never home, then he's not really available to provide emotional support. Right, mental support, spiritual support, support physically because you have to engage, interact, right? Mm-hmm. So then, I mean, like, what is it he's providing except a roof over your head?
Finances. Yeah, that's it. It's just he's never there, and a lot of these women think that they want that, and they're not understanding that you're still kind of in a form of a single parent.
The more money he makes, the less time he's probably going to be at home.
I don't know any CEOs that only work 40 hours. I don't know any directors of a company. Those higher ups, I don't know them to work 40 hours. My older brother is a manager who makes very well money, a very decent salary. Even when he comes to visit, the job is calling him and he's answering.
You got to.
It could be early in the morning. It could be late night. We could be kicking it. If we playing the game or something like that, hey, hold on, I got to get this.
Just not GTA don't pause.
Yeah. Yeah, hurry that up, bro. Put your phone on do not disturb. So, I mean, you have that element to it, but then, kind of diverging over to the conversation with Eboni K when she was asked if she would marry a bus driver, because her rant before that question was presented to her was she's dated all these different type of men and they're just not on the same level that she's on as far as, and I'm guessing, responsibility and finances, right?
That's crazy.
And then she asked, would you date a bus driver? And she said, if he owns the bus. I thought that was interesting coming from a woman that is on a network that she doesn't own.
And if dude own the bus, 8 times out of 10, he's not going to be driving it.
Right.
So,
unless you undercover boss or something like that. Make sure everybody doing what the hell they supposed to do. Man. Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it like that. But the other issue I have is that she's in a small minority class of women. And then you have the average woman saying that, well, that's what I want my standards to be too.
Right.
And they're forgetting that just like there's a whole bunch of average men, there's a whole bunch of average women, and they already outnumber us. So in a sense, it could be more average, because the conversation is they're the most educated, right? They're the most successful and things of that nature. I don't know what statistics are being used when that statement is being made, but what comes with education also comes debt. You see what I'm saying?
That was great timing.
Yeah, Amazon is even feeling what I'm talking about.
It's crazy too. All right, so like I'd seen this video or reel. I don't remember what I was watching. There was this older lady, and she was saying I was a higher up in a company. I was like close to the CEO, and because I had this high up position, I feel when I came home, I should have had the same position because I made more than my husband. I should have been X, Y, and Z, and things should have went my way. And she said now I'm by myself and I'm watching that man build the life that I want with another woman. She said that frame of thinking, that mindset, she said that is a sickness. And basically what it boils down to is because you make more money or you have this higher position or you're operating however you may operate with the company, you still have to come home and be submissive to your man. You can't expect to be the dominant person in that relationship because that's the like normal arrangement. I mean, for a man, right?
Yeah.
Is to so then if you come home and you talking down to this man and you're not respecting this man, you're not allowing him to lead because of the position you have at your corporation,
or even just your educational background, they'll do that.
How many men are you think are gonna sit there and accept that or take that?
Not many.
And then the ones that do, is that really the type of man that you want? Because a lot of women sit up here and say, I don't want no man that I could run over, but then we'll try to belittle a man.
So I got two questions for you then. Do you think that, the first question is, do you think that men that pride themselves on that, right? That, I feel like I'm a man because I take care of all the responsibilities financially. I take care of all the burdens. Do you think there could be a sickness there as well?
Well, yeah, because and you hear about these cases where it's like the man makes so much money and he takes care of everything, so then he's controlling.
A lot of times it's like that.
You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't go here. Well, I'll just with you. Well, I'll cut off your credit card. I cut all your financial, you know what I'm saying, access off.
Yeah.
And now what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You leave me, you have to leave the car, the house, and everything because it's all
kids
in my
and a
name.
dog. I want it all.
No, you could take the dog.
Okay. And so with that, the other question is, do you feel like, just hypothetically, as a man, if you were with a woman that made more than you, a significant amount more than you, would you feel less of a man?
Nah. Because it's not about money.
It's based on me.
Isn't it? Yeah. See, and that's the issue.
So why do you think that conversation happens when women are saying, well, a lot of times we end up making more and then the man is intimidated and he's insecure.
Because she's belittling him. She's making him feel like less of a man.
So she's not doing nothing. Because that's how they come off. They come off like, I just happen to make more, but they're not really going into detail saying, well, what's the dynamic? What's the premise of the conversation?
She's treating him as though he's making less, or like he's
using words like, this is my house, or
I think, like, at the end of the day, let's be honest, a lot more opportunities are available to women than they are to men.
Oh, yeah. I got a good point.
Get on welfare.
Well, not even just that. I'm talking about from
Goldman Sachs has a plan, a $2 billion plan that's dedicated to donating to at least 1 million black women from between now and 2030.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in the business world. We ain't talking about welfare. Nobody cares about that.
I was gonna say
nah. We're talking about in the business world, like, you know what I'm saying, like grants. What he was talking about with Goldman Sachs, there's a lot of different areas and ways where women have more opportunities and more access to jobs and raises and getting put in position to make things happen as opposed to men. And so just based off of knowing the right people, you can get into a position where you're making 6 figures while your husband is out here grinding away making 5 figures. Right?
Right.
And I mean, so, okay, yeah, you're educated. That doesn't mean he's not educated.
Right.
It just means because of your education plus your connections, you was able to make some things happen. That doesn't mean that you're better than him, right? Because at the end of the day, we're a team, right?
Yeah.
So it's not about who's making more or who's better educated, because we're both working together to uplift us as a team, right? Everything's going into the same pot, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be.
Why does it matter who makes more? Because at the end of the day, a man needs a woman and a woman needs a man. That's just how it should operate, because you hear all these independent women complaining about not having a man, right?
Because they basing their relationship off of what the finances,
monetary
what he makes off his job, not based on what he provides to her. Or
Everything is monetary.
It's crazy because you missing a man for all the reasons that have nothing to do with money.
Exactly.
Well, my response to that, and I really do hope this gets out to a lot of women, the conversation that we're having, average women, at that. The first thing is, I read in a book, I think it was either The Simple Things or I think it was The Simple Things. And it talked about a man by the name of Ronald Reed. You could look it up. And Ronald Reed died a janitor, but he was also an investor. And he had about a little over $8 million that he had accumulated between, it was around $8 million he accumulated throughout his career because he made the right decisions financially. What people have to understand when it comes to money is, number one, money only solves money problems. It does not solve any other problem other than that. I know I just talked to a homeboy, and one of his friends is like an electrician. They work on the power lines in LA. They easily can grab around $250,000 to $300,000. That's labor. That's blue collar work. And that guy's colleague blew his hands off. So now he's not even bringing in that kind of income that he was bringing in. And so when we talk about,
used your hands to, when you said bringing in, after you just said he blew his hands off, you are crazy.
You wild, bro.
You said bringing in. I'm like, hold on, you don't got no hands. How he doing that? Focus. How he bringing it in?
Focus.
You wild.
You don't get to bring it in no more.
That's not my point.
Right,
what I'm
I
saying,
thought you was trying to send us.
Yeah, man, rest.
He gonna pull up on you.
Rest.
He gonna pull up.
You wild. You wild now. What I'm saying, that's not what I was saying, y'all. What I'm saying is that when you sit up there and you say because a person makes this, a person makes that, that can change like that in a matter of seconds, right? It's not about what you make. It's about what you can keep and what you do with it. Just like people that be like, I got $100,000 in the bank. Well, you're kind of stupid because judging off percentage rates and everything that's happening in the economy, you're losing money every day. So you should probably have an emergency fund and everything else should be in investments. But see, people aren't thinking like that. They're just thinking, oh, this person makes this much. I just said a while back that our old tax guy told us that he has people that make triple what me and my wife make combined, and they still say, hey, I need 2 weeks for you until you cash that check because of their expenses. So when we talk about a dollar amount, there's so much more that goes into the lifestyle. There's a lot of men that make money that can't change tires, that can't fight, that don't know how to use tools. A lot of those things are what shape us to be men. You guys have kids and he can't fix the inner tube on the bike for his daughter.
I mean, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Rich people still commit suicide.
I'll call somebody to fix it.
That's another point. Talk about it. There's a lot of rich people that delete themselves.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So what does that mean? What kind of pressures and what kind of demons are they dealing with? And they got all the money in the world that you think is important.
They say more money, more problems. And a lot of people who acquire a certain amount of wealth, and it's known, they acquire a lot of problems and a lot of people that they can't trust because they're only rocking with them or coming to them because of their finances, because of the money that they have, right? So when you start looking at it like that, then it's like, who can you really trust? Who can you really turn to? Who can you confide in? And if that answer is nobody, then you find out that you're really lonely because, you know, Benjamin Franklin and all of them guys on the bills, they're not gonna console you at night.
Or your expenses become so high that you have more stress because you have to cover those higher expenses.
I got some more.
Living outside of your means.
I got some more game for the ladies. Y'all do understand that the American dollar's value is going down, right?
Nah, man, you can go $1 still $1.
Yeah,
he's stupid. I'm finna move the whole share.
$1 is still $1, man.
I'm finna move the whole share.
Hey, but you know what? On a real point, let's like even what you two do, right? Hypothetically, if you had kids, there would be no reason for you to have to buy shoes all the time unless their feet just can't fit them, because you can restore, you can repair. You have a skill set in your business of where a lot of people where it would cost them money because they have to keep repurchasing the same thing. You have a skill to where like that wouldn't be a problem with me and mine. You can literally feed and literally have fed your children from your backyard. You see what I mean? Those are the type of skills and resources that us men have developed or can develop that actually can protect and provide. You having organic food in your backyard, your kids are developing, an immunity to things that other kids probably aren't, that are eating processed food because their parents don't have time to cook, or just buying them something because they're maintaining a child instead of raising one.
Very true.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, maintaining a child instead of raising one.
And that's a big, you know what I mean?
No, that's heavy because a lot of people are maintaining children that watch YouTube and
Right.
iPads and play video games all the time instead of actually raising them to have a certain level of intellect to think for themselves and operate a certain way, read more books, be more in tune with your surroundings and things like that. Because think about it, how many kids you done seen running this stuff because they, that's my shoe.
Right.
Whose kid is this? Start flying private.
Right.
Nah, but that's real. That's real.
It's and the crazy thing about all of this, like tying it in when I say like modern Black, because we are having this conversation the most in our community, dog. Like,
and not even so much the most, but publicly.
Yeah, that's the key word.
Like you don't really hear about this with other ethnicities and other cultures the way you do. It's almost like we lost our way.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, all right, even in the old days, because you said something earlier about they're looking at their grandparents and how their grandma used to act. Well, back in that time, right, because they grew up differently, there was a point where women weren't allowed to operate a certain way. They weren't allowed to have all the freedom that they have now, right, because of certain rules and regulations. So it was almost like you had to have those homemaking skills because you had to make a house a home because your husband had to go out here and grind it away, you feel me, and labor away and make things happen. And so they actually took pride in being able to contribute, because that's another way to contribute without actually being out here in the world. Okay, I can't work and make all the money, but I can make sure you're taken care of and you're comfortable and you have some type of peace when you come home. Right. Because when you're out there in the world, you're not going to experience a whole lot of peace. You're going to experience pushback, frustrations, right? Disrespect, a whole lot of negative things out there in the world. So when you come home, you know what I'm saying, I'll make sure that you're taken care of, bring your bath water, cook for you, the clothes are folded, the kids are asleep, you know, that type of stuff. And they actually took pride in that because that means something. That holds a lot of weight. Right. And they understood that.
Right. No, you're right. That did. It mattered.
And it still matters.
Yeah.
It still matters because especially as Black men, we out here in the world, bro, it's still racist.
Yeah.
It's still racist. It's wow.
Yeah. It's a lot.
A lot of disrespect, a lot of uphill battles, a lot of disregard, right?
A lot of lack of empathy and
Oh, 100%.
Like the less it's people, I don't know. It's like people are lacking humanity, humility. Like you can go down the list, but it's affecting. I think it affects us a whole lot more because even though we can pride ourselves on the success as a group, like this person made it here and this person made it there, but that's a very small number to call some. You know what I mean? It's a very small number to call some. Like like the point that Poe made when he said a lot of people that are making these complaints are people that don't know how. So instead of getting upset about what somebody else isn't doing because you don't know how, why don't you track why you don't know how? Who didn't teach you these things? Deal with it and then figure out how to learn those things.
And then he also said that a lot of these women grew up without a father in the house, which means that their mother was the breadwinner who was working and exerting that energy. So she wasn't even, first of all, not only did you not see her operate like that, she wasn't there to teach it to you the way that you needed it to be implemented to you so that you could have that better, that deeper understanding of it, right? You just looked at it as chores because she made you wash the dishes and wash your own clothes and everything. So then, you know what I'm saying, you get older, you get in your own spot and you get lazy about it because you looked at it as chores instead of understanding this is how you upkeep and maintenance yourself. And then when you actually get a man, this is how you help out around the house and make sure certain things are on point.
So let me ask y'all this. I know I have like some scenarios here and there, but how are you guys able to see the results of women not having their fathers based off of you dating some women in the past?
How am I able to see the results?
Like you dating somebody and you could tell, even before they acknowledge that or let you know that they didn't grow up with their dad or a father figure of some sort, what were some traits and things that you could tell where it's like, man, I could tell they weren't raised around men too much?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I have that radar. I haven't really.
Even when you were in the relationship and you seen certain behaviors?
I wouldn't associate it with anything as far as them not having a father. I can't really say that I've had that experience. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So then how would you put that together how would you make that assumption that a lot of these women weren't raised with their fathers?
Because this is information that is kind of known, and it's the experience that a lot of us as in our community have. So that's where that comes from. Not necessarily an assumption of an individual experience, but the assumption that the larger group has experienced, and knowing that there are a lot of us boys and a lot of young girls who were raised without fathers, and many of them have expressed that they weren't raised with their fathers, but are typically, maybe some of them may not be able to make that connection. Some are self-aware and able to understand that their experience not having a father did not allow them to be able to kind of know what to expect of a man. So
the reason why I asked that question is because one of the things that black men get a flack for is like a lot of black men come from single parent homes as well, raised by their moms. And so a lot of pushback that black men get from the sisters is like, your mama's black, you better be raised with your mama. Why are you acting like this? Everything is mama, 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 but not really looking at the fact that, well, that young man didn't have his father either. You know what I'm saying? And so it's almost like that's another way, whether they consciously know that they're doing it, that they're disregarding that there's not a male presence there. You understand what I'm saying? And that does have an impact. And the reason why that's so important to acknowledge is because sometimes that's being promoted that that's okay.
Right.
And it's not. Like if that child, male or female, does not have their father in their life, or you choose not to have their father in their life, that's not where it ends. You need to still find, whether it's a brother that you trust, a cousin that you trust, a best friend that you trust, to act in a way where they can still teach and they can still get that information. And a lot of women stop there and then they encourage each other and they, you did it all by yourself. Did you have to though? Right?
Not necessarily.
Did you have to? Because some people did have to, but some people had to because they thought they had to and didn't try to look at any other. And that's important. And you know why that's important.
Some of them go into it with the thought of that they will and can, like, before they even had a child with that dude. Like, that if they do have a child with him, that they are going to have total control of the situation.
Oh, boy. Oh boy, do they find out that it's the opposite.
They didn't have that, yeah, for sure.
Because I'll tell you right now, bro, like even me personally, being married with 2 kids, this shit is hard with the both of us. It's still hard. So me and my wife a lot of time had the conversation is I don't even know why a person would choose this route, because it's not easy. You know what I mean? It's not easy.
Imagine 3 by yourself. 4.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, shit. It's a lack of understanding and a lack of respect.
Yeah.
To answer the question where you're talking about not knowing if they grew up with a father, there's a lack of understanding, like of what a man is supposed to be, how you operate with a man, how men think, and because when you're around your father, there's certain things he implements, there's certain things he teaches you, certain things he tells you not to do, and then you see how he operates with your mom. Right, and that creates a certain level of understanding. So there's a lack of nuance and reference points because you didn't experience that as a child. And then depending on how your mom operated and how she viewed men or operated towards men, you might have a high level of disrespect for men due to that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because if you have a father, unless he beat the brakes off of you and he was just a complete and total prick, you have a certain level of respect for men.
Right.
And this is with male or female.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
For sure.
on the male side, there are certain things that you learn as a kid that only a man can teach you.
Yeah.
You feel me? There's a certain way that you learn how to operate and carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always your father. Now, it's nice when it can be your father, but having older brothers, having uncles, right? Like they say it takes a village to raise a child. I remember being in a neighborhood where my neighbor whooped me and then went and told my mom, and she was like, good. And I was like, huh?
And you're getting a whooping.
Yeah, that's two of them.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying, though? But it was different times and kind of when we grew up. Because
No, that's
it was more of a... But on the same breath, there's a lack of awareness of how you should operate or how a man should operate, or that level of understanding and respect is usually missing. And then on top of that, they are really... when it comes to women, it seems like they're more about impressing and grabbing the attention of a man. In some cases, it's a lack of self-respect, because a man can teach you as a woman to respect yourself and carry yourself a certain way.
Absolutely.
If you don't have that type of attention from a father figure growing up, then once you get older, you look for that type of attention from men, and whoever will show it to you, then you will cling to that.
and a lot of them are the wrong men.
100%.
Yeah.
But they are giving you that attention.
Right.
And so you're drawn to it. You missed that as a child, so you want it now.
You know, the reason I said that I've never had that experience of like knowing is because I can meet someone who has both parents and had both parents in the household, but acts just like somebody that you just described.
That's very true. And that's
100%.
very true.
And you know what? You know what that's usually a part of? It's because of their parents, the mom and the dad, being so strict that they choose to rebel, and they choose not to take any of the understanding or intellect that is being given to them.
They grew up with rules, no lessons.
And in a lot of cases, when you're not learning anything or you're not getting an understanding of why these rules are being implemented, then you choose to rebel against them because there's, again, no understanding. And there's no understanding, you rebel. So it's like you got both parents in your house. Well, F them, and I don't give a whoopty whoop. I'm going to do what I want. Because when they were trying to raise you up and bring you up the right way, they didn't express to you why they was doing the things that they were doing. And I mean,
because I said so.
Right. And I'm about to say, and in a lot of cases, that's how the parents operate. You do what I say because I tell you to, not understanding that some type of expression, right, like of why I'm telling you to, actually goes a long way. Because I was like, you need to do this, huh? You need to do this because X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I didn't say I agreed with it.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
And you know what happens? A lot of them go to college, and then they don't recognize their kid no more, because they go to college and they get exposed to all of these different ways of thinking and all of these different standards and morals and what society is saying. And it's like, I don't even recognize this kid no more because they telling me everything I taught was wrong, but you have the opportunity to give the lessons along with the rules instead of saying, because I said so, these are the rules. You know what I mean? And then to kind of cater to what you said earlier, when you brought up you could get in trouble by anybody, because it was almost like that was the code of conduct. Like, I know your mama, I'm gonna whip you, or I'm gonna get on your helmet.
Now it's don't touch my kids.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. Like, now people are so, and I don't know if this is a PTSD. You know what I'm saying? Of getting in trouble by other people outside of your parents. But now it's like, don't nobody want anybody to tell their kids anything. I got it.
So crazy.
And it's crazy.
Your kids will be acting up. Your kids will be acting up in public, and somebody will tell them, don't do this or stop doing that. And it's out of a place of, so you don't get hurt, so something bad doesn't happen to you. And then a parent will come in, don't tell my kids nothing, don't talk to my kids. And it's just like, but somebody needs to say something. Because if
you're the enabler.
If you were giving them these rules and these lessons, they wouldn't be acting like this, operating like this, or doing this with the lack of understanding. They would know that there's consequences to running out in the street to grab a basketball, but you're not telling them. So I'm like, hey, be careful. Don't talk to my kid like that. Well, let his ass get ran over then.
Right.
I still talk to these kids like they part of my generation growing up in those schools.
Because they need it. They lack it.
Anybody saying I'm a son of my kids, I've been looking at them, you out of pocket. You already know how I get down with y'all here.
Yeah.
And it's another thing. You got to think about it. How we grew up, right? A lot of us were so traumatized by the rules that now you want to give your kid all of this freedom.
Yeah. Yep.
That's because you never got those type of people never got no consequences for nothing.
Yeah.
They was always let off early, or they was always
Or too many consequences, so you don't want to be like your parents.
Right.
Shit, me, I had a consequence for shit.
You chewing with your mouth open? Boy,
I don't have enough time to give my son the consequences that my parents gave me.
Dog, I
don't have enough time to be able to do it.
I have gotten in trouble by his dad. I have gotten in trouble by his dad. And looking back on it, at the time when I got in trouble, I was like, telling me what to do.
I want to go
like
home.
this. You know, I had an attitude with him.
Well, what he was saying, shut up, Harold.
I had an attitude with him. I had an attitude with him. He was part of the reason why I got in trouble, but I was 100%. I was pretty much 99.9% at fault, right? He had, the 1% was the telling, right? But the thing is when I look back, when I look back on it, well, let me see.
What Rollo say? Y'all heard Rollo say? I had to make it juicy for him.
He wasn't finna get in trouble behind you.
Yeah. So my thing is, but when I look back on that, I would want my people to do the same thing when it comes to my kids.
Hell yeah.
Not telling the truth or getting in trouble. I would want somebody, hey, dude, you need to come get your son. You need to come get your daughter. And then, but by the time I'm there, they already feel so stupid because they gave them a mouthful. You know what I'm saying?
I got words.
Yeah. You know, so that is missing too because people, like, they got whatever little trauma. Yeah, I don't talk to my kids like they don't do this with my kids. And that's why
I talk to you like that.
Right. Both of y'all get in the corner. You're both in trouble. Belt? You know what I'm saying? And now, what do you have now? You got kids fighting teachers.
Yeah, that shit right there.
Doing TikToks and stuff in class. And
crazy.
Like, I couldn't imagine my mom showing up and my dad showing up after I done did all of that. What they doing today? There's no way. There's no way I'm still in my 30s.
Think about it. Kicked off the bus for doing that to the bus driver.
Think about when somebody threatened to call your parents back when you was in school.
Yeah, you already sweating.
Whoa.
You already sweating.
So you mean that I got a call at my job that I'm working to make sure you have a decent life to come deal with you because you want to act up at school?
Yeah. I'm on your helmet.
Nigga mess around lose his life.
And it's even worse for a single parent. Single parent showing up. Oh,
I had a lot of those, man. 2 parent
pull you outside, you just hear scuffles,
and
your shirt be all. But I told you, napped up. You come back in the classroom like
I did some dumb shit. I did some dumb shit at the store with my parents, and I told you I thought I was about to get killed because my mom was reaching in the back seat, and my dad said, "No, we'll get him when we get home." I said, "What? You'll do what? We'll get him when we get home."
Yeah, child locks is on and everything. You're not getting out the car.
We get him when we get home. That way we got full access. That way we got full access.
Like, I don't think they could kill me.
Brought you in this world, I'll take you out. When your parents used to say that actually struck fear into you.
Yeah.
Because that done whooped you to the brink. You feel like the brink of death. Bruh, I remember I got in trouble at school. Mm-hmm. And then I made it home. I got whooped until I bled. Like there was lashes and blood and scratches and all types.
What the hell did you do to that teacher?
I'm not gonna tell you. But I was out of pocket.
Oh, you was out of pocket.
Oh, yeah.
So you earned that one.
Yeah.
You earned it.
What? It's made me the man I am today. I
still remember
that. Man,
my man was Denzel on Glory.
Too many. Okay? Sheesh. Never again. What?
Man,
listen. I'm finna go get some new shoes.
My bad, Mom. No, still apologizing for that.
I think that's the other thing too. Like, of course, your intentions aren't to hurt your child when you give them corporal punishment. But at the same time, when you reflect on why, I know for me, like, I actually probably got off a little bit, on the easier side with certain things I did with multiple automobiles at single digit ages. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a strict dad, you know what I mean? And both of my parents ain't have no problem whipping our ass And the thing is now we want to sit up here and society wants to sit up here and tell you, you don't hit your kids and this, that, and the other. But these same people that you're saying protect the kids, don't hit them and all that other stuff, they're harming everyone else too.
Well, you know what? I don't think there's any consequences because you're not allowed to beat them.
Yeah.
Well, whooping. Yeah. Whoa.
It is what it is. Man. Beat your kids. Beat your kids. Okay.
Now listen. I think,
man, come on now.
There's several different
Extension
ways
cords,
in which to
house shoes,
give punishment or consequences.
You ever been hit with an ashtray?
Listen,
almost.
That's not a whooping or nothing. That's
when you, beef. That's when you trying to run.
That's called
back
beef.
Here.
Yeah.
But look,
battering.
It's different consequences that children need to understand are out there, because we can say there's a problem with hitting your child or whooping them or whatever it is, physical consequences.
Well, we're not telling them to square with no 8-year-old.
No,
bro.
but I'm saying, look, if
you gonna catch this,
Dallas has called me a couple times. I'm like, yo.
When
you get 5.
I don't whip my kids, but there are some children that need to understand when you become old enough, these police will beat your ass.
Yes.
They'll beat your ass. You understand?
Yeah.
They'll beat your ass till you die.
Right.
And they'll keep beating you.
Right.
So if you don't think that you're going to have any kind of physical consequences when you get that children won't have physical consequences, we could play this playground thing all we want and say, oh man, don't beat your children, do this and that.
Keep this though.
They going to get their ass beat.
There was a PSA.
That's real.
Right?
That's real talk. That's
there
real
was
talk.
A PSA, and it was like, you need to whoop your kids and you need to give them a certain understanding, because if you don't give them that understanding, they're going to get out here in the world. It won't necessarily be the cops. They'll play with somebody else who's going to beat the brakes off of them because they didn't have the understanding, and they think they can just get out here and act anyway, talk anyway, and it's whatever it is.
You're supposed to go and tell.
And what you don't understand
Still
is
gotta make it there.
You can't play with everybody. You can't cross certain lines with a lot of people. There's just things that you don't do. But if you're not taught that in the home, if you're not given that understanding there's consequences for your actions, and there's a certain level of respect that you need to have for everybody,
right?
Then you'll get out here into the world, you'll run across me, and I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yep. One thing my wife used to say when we would go, before we had kids, and we would go like somebody get crazy, and somebody kid get crazy in Target or Safeway or wherever we're shopping at, she would always mumble under her breath to me, "It starts at home. It starts at home."
100%.
And I would say out loud, "Beat their ass. Beat their ass." Like, I wouldn't say it directly to the parent, but loud enough to where it's like, "Hey, I got some advice. Whip that ass." Because there is a point that you made. Like when my nieces and nephews were growing up, when they were little kids, even something as simple as like my nephew like hitting their sisters or something like that, I would explain to them, like, if you think this is okay, you're gonna hit a little girl at school who has a brother or brothers.
He gonna be
and it's not gonna be as nice as your uncle telling you to not do it. And that's the whole point of like the lesson. That ass whooping that you get from your parents, or that ass whooping you give your child, could actually save your child from going out there and thinking that they could just say whatever they want to say to somebody or do whatever they want to do, because now you're not just dealing with people, you're dealing with people who haven't been raised.
Yeah, because I done popped my son in the mouth like that a couple of times, or in the chest, just to let him know, because he eye level with me. So I had to let him know, like, when you eye level with me and we start talking, you start doing that extra talking crazy, my hands move, because I'm thinking you somebody else. You can't talk to me,
He said, my hands move.
Yeah, my hands just. I was like, what the?
You hit him with a Bruce Lee.
Let me put this away.
Who pressed X?
Hold on, let me put this shit away. Let me put this damn thing away before it starts.
Triangle.
Doing shit.
Circle.
Yeah, man. So like
where'd he go? Next thing you got him in the head, like, there you go.
Like you talking
Look
to
here
a
now.
grown man.
No, 100% though. You have to have that understanding. You have to understand who it is you're talking to, what's going on, and you have to be aware of those things. But see, this is the thing about it. A major thing that's missing is the respect. The respect is what's missing, bro.
Yeah.
And if your kids don't really have too much respect for you, then they're not going to respect anybody else.
Yeah.
And fear. They tried to say fear is wrong. Your child needs to be afraid.
Yes, they
They
should.
need to be afraid that they will get fucked up.
Yes.
Man, I was outside.
That's real.
I was outside with my friends, right? And mom was sitting down in a chair, and I don't remember what she said. I just remember I gave a response that didn't sit well with her, and one hit, bro. I don't know where she learned to move. But she was like,
Now she didn't have that in her.
and
You didn't know?
she knocked the wind out of me. I was on the ground.
Oh, that's Jeet Kune Do. That's Bruce Lee. That's the 6-inch punch. That's the
And when you can
6-inch
breathe,
punch
get
right
up and
there.
go in the house. Like, when I can breathe, you don't care? You know what I'm saying? Like, but it just,
And she knew the remedy, how long it was
you're
going
not
to take
going
for
to
that to come back.
disrespect me.
Mm-hmm.
Take about 10 minutes for
You
you to
gonna
get
learn.
your rest back.
You gonna learn.
You gonna learn. I'm gonna learn you today.
100%.
I'm gonna learn you today.
You gonna get it right.
Yeah.
Or get left out here.
Right. And I mean, something that's crazy, because I talked to an OG homie, right? And he was saying, he's like, bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Whoopings did not work. Like, I still was like doing stupid shit.
Of course.
But he was a street cat back in the day, in his younger days. So he got a lot of his lessons. Luckily, he survived his lessons. But one thing that I don't think and I didn't get a chance to tell him this until after the fact, you got like, damn, I should have said that. He always has respect for his mom still to this day. So even though he thought the beatings probably didn't keep you from doing certain things, but you still had a respect for your mom, and you still carry respect for other people. You see what I'm saying? So it works in some way, some shape or form, as far as in how you operate with other individuals. He also made the decision to leave that life, so it worked a little bit later. You know what I'm saying?
You don't heal from your wounds, but you still, you
The
might
lessons
get your ass
remain,
beat.
though.
Yeah.
The lessons
It's like,
remain.
okay,
man.
Yeah,
do
the
that
lessons
again.
definitely remain.
I know I'm gonna get my ass beat, but some niggas okay with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like you said, after the fact. Sometimes the messages and the lessons hit a little later after the fact, but they still hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some motherfuckers just keep going to jail.
That's just because you don't care. That's just I don't even know what to say about that.
No, that happens, and that's going down a whole nother rabbit hole. But that actually happens because of, it's still your product of your environment. You can discipline all you want, but eventually, if you do want to see better results, outside of how you're disciplining somebody or outside of you teaching them lessons every day, you got to try your best to get them out that environment. And some people are less fortunate in that aspect, because you can have all the right intentions, and that kid can have all the right intentions of wanting to retain and apply that information that you're teaching them. But if they're not in an environment where they can actually see the results of that, then it's going to be a vicious cycle. And that's the part.
That's very true.
That's the part that's unfair when we do critique each other as a culture, because, like you said, it's on a public forum, right? Mm-hmm. On how we do it, and we don't take the time as a culture to be like, how a person grows up, how they were raised or maintained does matter. Mm-hmm. Because we all know that saying, and we've heard millions of very famous comedians say it all the time. When I can't wait till they turn 18, they getting the hell out of my house. But what they don't understand is that 18-year-old brain hasn't developed into the adult that you think they're going to be at 18 years old.
Bro, you just cleared high school.
Right.
And we
I
gotta
was
stop
just at
doing
a
that
pep
to our-
rally.
We
We gotta stop doing that to our kids.
We have to.
I'm not sending my son out there after 18, my nigga.
No,
I was just
I'm
at
not.
a pep rally. I was just on a basketball team. Now you're telling me to go make a life for myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have to end that. I agree with you, Poe. We have to end that habit, because it didn't work.
Not only just that,
it
do you
didn't
notice
work.
that, like,
Other cultures don't do that.
We're the only ones.
100%. I know, like, in certain Indian families, the kids don't leave the house until they talking about marriage.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. We are the only ones. We are the only ones that want our. Now, I'm not even going to say we. There's a generation outside of ours that really believed in that. And I'm going to be honest, it turned into a sink or swim situation. And the people that are swimming right now, based off of that situation, is choking on water, because it's not supposed to go that way. Like, if we are the only ones doing certain things, and yet we are the ones that are on the producing the lowest numbers, as far as in being successful, finances, and how much we're bringing to our community, then we got to understand that this shit goes beyond ass whoopings and corporal punishment in the way, oh, don't talk to my kid. It's what you're doing to your kids and what you are instilling in your kids. Like, for example, and I'm not going to go deep into it. Hey, women, stop telling these kids how fucked up their daddy is. That's not helping. You're only helping yourself by getting the energy out there.
And you're not telling them. And you're not telling them what you did. You funky trout.
Well, all right, that's a different conversation. But like, calm down, yeah.
I'm gonna chill.
Put your dignity down. So, and then like when you think about it, how many people I said that high school is a pipeline to prison?
Mm-hmm.
So then that means that your children aren't really learning life skills. They're not really learning the things that will allow them to operate and function successfully out there in the world. But yet and still, as soon as they graduate with a diploma, you put them out of your house, and then you be surprised when they get into these situations that are less than stellar or end up in jail, because that's what school has pretty much prepared them for. Like, they don't know anything about credit.
Nope.
They don't know how to cook.
Yep. Oh, there's no home ec in high school no more. There's no automotive in high school no more.
Quit letting the schools teach the kids how to read, man.
But they're not teaching. That's the thing about it.
Because by the third grade, he's going to. They know he's going to prison if he end up in that other classroom all day.
How much information can you retain out of this book and regurgitate? How much information can you retain from the class and regurgitate on a paper so the paper says that you passed, so we can continue to move you up through the system until we can get you out of the school system and get you into the legal system?
That's real. I definitely think, you know what, here's a fun fact. I think I told my wife this like recently. I passed geometry in high school and I know nothing about it because I was connected enough with friends or with people that I knew to get past that class.
When was the last time you had to solve for X? I'm not trying to hear.
I ain't gonna lie, I did have to solve for X.
Yeah, variables.
Variable.
Yeah.
Well, you know, geometry
but
the degrees and all that. I understand that actually now as an adult. I was able to kind of understand it and put it in, like, explaining it to my son. This is the good thing about paying attention to them classes, is because you can give the degrees and all that.
Yeah.
Like, you can translate it into different ways and explain it to them in a way that they may be able to understand that. Because geometry, I didn't understand geometry when I took it. I hated it.
I hated it too.
As an adult,
and I did some of
as an adult though.
But I understand it now.
As an adult though.
I can explain.
Yeah.
As an adult, angles and fractions and
things make more sense.
Denominators and numerators, all of that.
Yeah.
That all makes so much more sense as an adult. But see, when you're still learning and developing, like I said, if you can remember enough to regurgitate it, then they say, oh, he understands it, he passed. Nah.
I went back on